Okay, so I might be a bit of an idiot, but hear me out on this one. The JSON file for the new league has just been released for the skill trees, which shows off the new ascendancies. And some cool stuff is the new bloodline ascendancies, that is. This abyssal one will not be in for week 1, but that doesn't matter because this wouldn't really be a league start build anyway, most likely. But it has this node, Conjoined Spire. All other summoned totems die when you summon a totem. Skills used by totems have 5% more area of effect per maximum number. Skills used by totems deal 10% more damage per maximum number of totems. Totems have 5% more life per maximum number of summoned totems. So obviously, immediately I'm thinking Hierophant. Hierophant has this +1 maximum with the placement speed, duration's okay, 3% more damage per summoned totem. That's a bit of anti-synergy, isn't it? Because you can only summon so many totems at once. And then I looked through totem skills and thought, well, maybe we can still use Iron Commander here. Iron Commander's got the great thing about it that you get a bunch of maxed totems per dex. But you're losing out on so many totems. You're still going to be placing so few totems that the damage is just not worth it. But I looked through some more totem skills, and maybe I shouldn't make this video because it might be a build I actually want to try. But since mercenaries are back anyway, Siege Ballista of Trarthus. Siege Ballista of Trarthus has these two lines: +7 to maximum number of summoned totems, and summons 8 ballista totems in a ring which use this skill. Totems expire after attacking once. And then, obviously, if you get up to level... you have to get it up to level 25 to get extra off of that. Potential, but not super. It also just gets straight up more damage from quality, which is nice. But this, my base thought is, without even looking at support gems, you have Iron Commander, +1 max totem per 200 dex, which say you get 1600 dex. That's not too tough to get. It's, not early game, but it's not too tough to get. That's +8 to maximum number of summoned totems. Then +9 to maximum number of summoned totems. And then we have these two nodes, Surveillance and Watchtowers, +10, +11, and then Siege Ballista, plus another 7. So we have +18 to the maximum number of summoned totems. Summoned ballista totems, but these are ballistas, so that's fine. The default is 1. Forgive me, I've already forgotten the number. I'm good and smart. But 7 plus, so 15, 16, let's call it 16, 17, 18. 18 maximum totems. And that is not to count Ancestral Bond. You'll only be dealing the damage with the totems. So I would say it wouldn't be horrendously unreasonable to get 20 totems at endgame deck stacker or more. You might want to get some... Can't get charms anymore, unfortunately. You won't be able to get the +1 from a shield, but it doesn't matter because Iron Commander. But that will give you... you have 200% more damage from this. Plus, the Hierophant is giving you only 3% because it got nerfed per summoned totem. And you're already summoning 8 as a baseline. So that's another 24% more damage. And then a big thing to know, I don't think it's listed here, it is not, but it is listed on the totem page, is that last league, totem placement speed also scales the speed at which totems emerge. They slowed down ranged attack totems, which is a little annoying, but Hierophant does make up a lot of that with the totem placement speed, plus there are some good nodes that you'll probably end up getting anyway. You probably want Totemic Zeal anyway. You probably want Shamanistic Fury anyway. So you can still get them to come out quite quickly. Anyway, I was planning on making a video about just like the bloodline ascendancies in general, but I figured, hey, why not make this instead? Because I noticed it and it was interesting. Really, it's just that I didn't care too much for many of the other nodes. I guess I can talk about it while we're here, though. I can spell. How do I keep on managing to put an L in there? I did that last time as well. Tidecaller here, Surging Torrent, and Brine Ground while you're moving is basically permanent uptime on gaining 10% of physical damage, extra cold and lightning, and decent uptime on getting better lightning and cold ailments plus reduced armor evasion on enemies. So that's not bad. And then maybe I'm dumb, but Barnacles doesn't seem super strong to me because it's a defensive thing that gets inflicted every second up to 10 times, which, you know, increased duration of freeze and chill is nice. Converts 5% of physical damage to cold is not bad, but the fact that it takes 10 seconds to max up each stack, not sure that'll be hugely important. Though the increased duration of chill and freeze could be good with those nodes that increase, just like permanently increased damage for like uber bosses, or maybe not even uber bosses, just like bosses in general, pinnacle bosses. And then Brine Rot. Drowning Domain, I need someone to explain to me how this is useful, potentially. 30% of damage over time taken by enemies within the Drowning Domain is inflicted as Brine Rot, and then enemies lose life equal to stored Brine Rot when they leave the Drowning Domain. None of these increase the effect of Brine Rot, so, you know, to me, the way this is worded sounds like 30% of your damage is converted into Brine Rot. 30% of your damage over time is converted, in which case maybe there's some weird mechanic I don't know, but that seems useless. If it's just, you know, 30% of damage taken over time by enemies, you know, is added on top as Brine Rot, which again, I don't think so, then this is a fucking crazy node that's just 30% more damage, as long as you're willing to play a little bit actively. But anyway, I was mostly excited about that Abyssal node. This Abyssal node with Iron Commander, Siege Ballista of Trarthus, Dex stacking stuff. It's going to be a bit of a more active playstyle than your typical Dex stacking Iron Commander. Because you have, you know, the Siege Ballistas only attack once, but you'd be getting a ton of more damage multiplier just slapped right on top of that, which is nice because, I mean, with Hierophant, really what else do you want from this ascendancy? You want, for totems, you obviously want Pursuit of Faith and Ritual of Awakening, but after that, what do you really care for? Conviction of Power? I guess the charges are nice, but then you don't care for Arcane Surge. You're not doing, I wouldn't be doing mana or brand stuff with this, so it's kind of hard. I guess normally I personally probably would have gone with Divine Guidance instead, but now I can get crazy damage with Siege Ballista of Trarthus. And since the Abyss Ascendancy isn't going to be in until week 2, they said within a week, 3.29.1, there's still a good chance this gets kneecapped, so I have to find a starter because despite the fact that I'm right now talking about playing totems, I kind of don't like totems, so I'm not going to League start spell totems. You know, I might do crabs later, but I'm not going to League start spell totems. So, you know, sorry for anyone who I accidentally baited by saying I was going to League start spell totems. I'll find something else out.